Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me on an early Sunday morning for our High Performance Leader Virtual Summit organized by our friend Dino. I am very excited to introduce you my presentation. I put quite a bit of work in there, hopefully to inspire you and motivate you to move forward with your passion project, making a living from your passion. This is going to be kind of my goal today, is to introduce you kind of what I did, and mostly important, what I wish I would have known prior to engaging into completely changing my life and moving forward from a corporate job into my own business. That is, because I am still doing this business based on my passion, which some of you already know is running. So let's go ahead and do this presentation on how to create a successful business from your passion. So a little bit about me. My name is Adrien, and I like to call myself as an entrepreneur because I've been running for 25 years, and I moved to China not that long ago. It's been 3.5 years. And I came in with pretty much nothing, just a big goal and a big passion, and that passion of running and the willingness to share that passion, that knowledge with the rest of the world, and mostly China, since this is a country I live in. When I moved to China, I immediately founded the company RunForce, which is a virtual coaching business, run coaching. I'm also the founder of Sports Force, which is business to institution business where we provide coaching services for schools across China. Obviously, I'm a running coach for my company RunForce. I am also a running ambassador. That means I represent multiple brands. I had the chance to be an ambassador for the brand Lululemon almost as soon as I moved to China. I'm an ambassador for Apple. I am an official running coach for Coros watches. I am an ambassador for multiple sports brands. That allows me to have a lot of connections and promote my services. I'm also an adventurer. Prior to moving to China, I would travel the world. Prior to COVID, even living in China, I take high net worth clients and we go in remote places or beautiful locations to do a lot of running. And also something that's very important about me is prior to becoming an entrepreneur, I was, like some of you, a manager in a big corporation. I was working for JP Chase. I actually worked in the banking industry for 13 to 15 years. And I wanted a big change, and moving to China, setting up my own business was definitely a massive change. So today I want to share with you kind of the steps I took to launch my business from my passion. But first of all, how do you move forward? Well, moving forward takes a radical mind change, and this is kind of what brought me this radical mind change. So arrived at a certain age, in my mid-30s, I realized that definitely a third of my life had already been behind me. And then probably I would hope that the last third of my life would be retirement, or at least an easygoing life. So I realized that, the time that we have on earth is very, very limited. And I can guarantee you one thing, where you and I will all die, and we only have a certain chance on this earth, and we definitely should not waste our time doing something that we don't like, working for a company that we don't share its values, not really feeling fulfilled in our daily jobs. And there's a sentence I really love, and some of you probably know it: if you do something that you love for work, you never work a day in your life. And after working for my own company for the last 3.5 years, I'm not going to say every day is easy. I'm not going to say every day is not stressful. That's definitely not the case. A lot of stress, a lot of hard work, but there's a certain feeling of content Every day I go to work, definitely a feeling of excitement. And I would say the harder I work, the more fulfilled I feel. And that's something I definitely did not feel in the corporate world, especially in the banking world, where my goals were not as fulfilling as the goals I have today. And my achievements were definitely not as high as what I'm able to do on my own. So 100% of us have a limited time on Earth. And I want to share with you one of the videos that completely changed my view on life and my view on my career. Enjoy, and I hope you this impacts you as much as I did.
In case you didn't know, one day you will die. And I want to show you why the job that you have that you hate is a waste of your life. See, this right here is our childhood and our teenage years, and we have a lot of fun. And most of us usually get a job right around here at 20 years old. And most people will retire at the age of 65. Now, if we're lucky, we'll live all the way to 80 years old. Now, if you look at this, the majority of our lives will actually be spent at work. But a recent Gallup poll found that 85% of people in America don't enjoy their jobs. And in China and Japan, that number is almost 94%. Now, that's a crazy statistic. Most people hate what they do, but spend most of their lives doing it. Do you want to spend the majority of your life doing something that you hate doing? And just so you know, if you're slaving away for retirement down here, you're missing the point. Because only 82% of people in the world will actually live to the age of 65. And if you get to 65, on average, you only have about 15 more years left to live after you retire. And also, so you know, only 65% of people actually live into the age of 80. So don't stay at a job where you dread Mondays and live for the weekends. If you don't like your job, quit it. Find another way to make money. It's okay to wake up tomorrow and completely reinvent yourself and become the person that you've always wanted to be. It's never too late to start. Now, you may be thinking, well, that's unrealistic because I have a family to feed. And what I want you to think of is this. If your children grow up just to be just like you, and you work a job that you hate, guess what they will do when they get older? The same thing. Do you want that life for them? Wouldn't you rather have your children watch you live a fulfilled life doing what you love so that they can grow up and do the same? Even if it means that you make less money? Because no matter how you make your money, whether you're the CEO of a billion-dollar company or a janitor, we all end up as dust. And so it's with really great love and respect that I want to challenge you to rethink your life. If you're not happy with your job or your purpose or your meaning in life, change it. It's okay to make less money doing something that you love and not feel the need to buy a bigger house or a new car just because your neighbor did. You don't have to keep up with the Joneses. Don't fear being judged by people just because you don't have that great job title. Don't look back at the end of your life and see unfulfilled dreams or chances that you didn't take and days that were just wasted away at a job that you hated. Don't be so busy making a living that you forget to actually make a life, because life is so short. Do something that you love and be proud of it. And when you're not working, spend that time with the people that you love. Because here's the deal. You weren't born to just pay the bills and die. You were born to thrive.
I hope you liked this video. I hope it impacted you a lot. I wanted to give you an idea of what does it mean to do a job from your passion. How does that work? We have 3 individuals, including myself, obviously, because I wouldn't share if I was in a good case study. But these are famous individuals that not only made a business from their passion, but they were highly successful. And I wish for those who who want to have a business from their passion, to be as successful as these individuals. So if you don't recognize these individuals, the lady on the top is Wendy Cobb. She created in 1989 Teach for America. Teach for America is an incredible institution that helps so many students across the USA to be better prepared for the world. I really respect her. She's inspired me. She was very passionate about her education and helping people, and she created an incredible institution that's still very successful today. I highly recommend to look into what Teach America does. On the bottom, the older gentleman is Yvon Chouinard. So he was a passionate mountaineer, a passionate hiker, outdoorsman. He founded Patagonia. I'm sure a lot of you know this fantastic brand. Until today, Patagonia follows the values of Yvon Chouinard in terms of their production. You know, for example, they only use certain colors that have low impact on the environment. They will always they recycle their clothing. So he wanted he wanted clothes that would really, one, work with his values and also allow him to do his passion, which is mountaineering and hiking. So again, this person took his passion, brought it to business, and Patagonia is probably one of the most successful clothing brands, especially in the outdoor category of the world. And then this other gentleman with the sunglasses is Casey Neistat. So Casey Neistat, for those who are not familiar with him, is a very famous YouTuber. Right now, he's not doing many videos, but pretty much he loves filmmaking, film editing. He's got incredible talent. Very early, he was able to sell some of his documentaries, the Neistat brothers, to HBO. And, you know, he discovered a MacBook in the early 2000s. He was, well, at the time it was an iMac. He had his first camera. He started filming everything and anything. It was really his passion. He loved making films. And already the business with HBO was quite good. But when he took his passion to YouTube and shared what he knew and do videos that were interesting and original, he created almost an empire. Actually, he sold his business to CNN for $20 million. And that's, you know, he made a successful business from his passion. So I really, really admire these three people who literally took something they were passionate about, had strong values, and were able to live from it. And eventually some of them sold their business. So once you have your passion, what's important is if you're really passionate about something and you want to make a business out of it, well, you're not going to be the only one passionate about this. And to monetize your passion, you have to take it to the next step. And what is it to take it to the next step? Well, me as a running coach, I really want to be the best running coach and know everything about running and running coaching and the competitions and the communities and the data and the technology. So your number one step, if you have that passion, is, okay, since I'm passionate about it, I'm not going to count the time that I'm going to invest in studying and educating myself, in learning more, and going out and reaching out to the communities. So you have to do a deep dive in that passion. Because if I was passionate about running prior to doing the business, but I didn't spend my whole life about running because I just didn't have the time, I had a job. But once you decide to do the step to, hey, I'm going to make this a business, then you have to dedicate yourself 100%. When I moved to China, I had zero revenue. I think the first few months of living in China, I was making like 1,000 to 2,000 because obviously I didn't have any clients or anything. I was just building myself. So since I was hesitating to take a side job or something to make some money to be able to pay for my bills, but then I realized, no, I should really do that deep dive. And I decided to say, hey, this is an investment. So I completely, I did nothing else but just study. So I took my certifications. I reached out to coaches. I got mentors to educate me, to teach me and see how they were doing their business. And of course, I had to be the #1 running coach, know everything about it. Of course, it takes a lot of time to be an expert in whatever field you want to be. So even as of today, I consider myself as a very knowledgeable running coach and having a lot more information than the average runner, but I continue to educate myself. So for example, I dedicate 30 minutes every day before heading to work, where I'm going to look at the news on, the running news. A lot of certification courses post, weekly, daily newsletters. So I'm going to educate those newsletters. I'm going to read the magazines that are talking about running, the latest findings. So really, your job is not only to educate yourself in the first step, but also to continuously grow and reach out to, to mentors or institutions that provide information on a regular basis and keep yourself updated. And for example, we use a lot of cloud computing, and it's constantly changing. So making sure you know the latest functions of the tools that you're using to serve your clients. Another aspect that allow me to have a successful business with my passion is really to symbolize your passion. So we're going to take my example, which I am a running coach. I provide running services now to thousands of athletes across the world, with my base being in China. So how do I symbolize my passion? Well, as a running coach, you obviously want to be a runner. So that's not the case for the older coaches, but for them, they don't need to prove themselves, because at one point they were elite athletes. For most cases, I was never an elite athlete. I'd say I was semi-elite, with getting my podiums for my age group, etc. But as a running coach, I really want to only made a business from their passion, but they were highly successful. And I wish for those who want to have a business from their passion to be as successful as these individuals. So if you don't recognize these individuals, the lady on the top is Wendy Cobb. She created in 1989 Teach for America. Teach for America is an incredible institution that helps so many students across the USA to be better prepared for the world. I really respect her. She's inspired me. She was very passionate about her education and helping people, and she created an incredible institution that's still very successful today. I highly recommend to look into what Teach America does. On the bottom, the older gentleman is Yvon Chouinard. So he was a passionate mountaineer, a passionate hiker, outdoorsman. He founded Patagonia. I'm sure a lot of you know this fantastic brand. Until today, Patagonia follows the values of Yvon Chouinard in terms of their production. For example, they only use certain colors that have low impact on the environment. They will always they recycle their clothing. So he wanted he wanted clothes that would really, one, work with his values, and also allow him to do his passion, which is mountaineering and hiking. So again, this person took his passion, brought it to business, and Patagonia is probably one of the most successful clothing brands, especially in the outdoor category of the world. And then this other gentleman with the sunglasses is Casey Neistat. So Casey Neistat, for those who are not familiar with him, is a very famous YouTuber. Right now, he's not doing many videos, but pretty much he loves filmmaking, film editing. He's got incredible talent. Very early, he was able to sell some of his documentaries, the Neistat brothers, to HBO. And, he discovered a MacBook in the early 2000s. He was, at the time it was an iMac. He had his first camera. He started filming everything and anything. It was really his passion. He loved making films. And already the business with HBO was quite good. But when he took his passion to YouTube and shared what he knew and do videos that were interesting and original, he created almost an empire. Actually, he sold his business to CNN for $20 million. And that's, he made a successful business from his passion. So I really admire these three people who literally took something they were passionate about, had strong values, and were able to live from it, and eventually some of them sold their business. So once you have your passion, what's important is if you're really passionate about something and you want to make a business out of it, well, you're not going to be the only one passionate about this. And to monetize your passion, you have to take it to the next step. And what is it to take it to the next step? Well, me as a running coach, I really want to be the best running coach and know everything about running and running coaching and the competitions and the communities and the data and the technology. So your number one step, if you have that passion, is, okay, since I'm passionate about it, I'm not going to count the time that I'm going to invest in studying and educating myself, in learning more, and going out and reaching out to the communities. So you have to do a deep dive in that passion. Because if I was passionate about running prior to doing the business, but I didn't spend my whole life about running because I just didn't have the time, I had a job. But once you decide to do the step to, hey, I'm going to make this a business, then you have to dedicate yourself 100%. When I moved to China, I had zero revenue. I think the first few months of living in China, I was making like 1,000 to 2,000 because obviously I didn't have any clients or anything. I was just building myself. So since I was hesitating to take a side job or something to make some money to be able to pay for my bills, but then I realized, no, I should really do that deep dive. And I decided to say, hey, this is an investment. So I completely, I did nothing else but just study. So I took my certifications. I reached out to coaches. I got mentors to educate me, to teach me and see how they were doing their business. And of course, I had to be the #1 running coach, know everything about it. Of course, it takes a lot of time to be an expert in whatever field you want to be. So even as of today, I consider myself as a very knowledgeable running coach and having a lot more information than the average runner, but I continue to educate myself. So for example, I dedicate 30 minutes every day before heading to work, where I'm going to look at the news on, the running news. A lot of certification courses post, weekly, daily newsletters. So I'm going to educate those newsletters. I'm going to read the magazines that are talking about running, the latest findings. So really your job is not only to educate yourself in the first step, but also to continuously grow and reach out to, to mentors or institutions that provide information on a regular basis and keep yourself updated. And for example, we use a lot of cloud computing and it's constantly changing. So making sure you know the latest functions of the tools that you're using to serve your clients. Another aspect that allow me to have a successful business with my passion is really to symbolize your passion. So we're going to take my example, which I am a running coach. I provide running services now to thousands of athletes across the world, with my base being in China. So how do I symbolize my passion? Well, as a running coach, you obviously want to be a runner. So that's not the case for the older coaches, but for them, they don't need to prove themselves because at one point they were elite athletes. For most cases, I was never an elite athlete. I'd say I was semi-elite with, getting my podiums for my age group, etc. But as a running coach, I really want to have that healthy lifestyle. So you'll never see me smoking. I'll run on a daily basis. I want to have a high mileage. I want to win my local races. So I find the time to still invest in my passion, practice my passion, not only make it my business, but really do the running, show a healthy person. So, I'm an age where you can gain weight easily. So I'm going to practice a lot of sports, look fit, because if you approach a client and you don't look like a running coach in their vision, it's going to be harder to get the client because they'll say, well, how are you going to be a coach if you can't even coach yourself? So it's very important to look like your act. Overcome your fear of failure. What does that mean? Well, you constantly doubt yourself when you're launching a business. Is this going to work? Am I crazy? Who cares about my services? This is something, who cares about my passion? Well, the power of the passion is you do sometimes lose a little bit of your rationality. When you're really passionate about something, rationality doesn't really matter. It's about feelings and emotions. And if you really have that in you, the fear of failure, which we all have, is going to be a lot less. Because first of all, you're doing something that you love. So even if you waste your time on a project, like you put together a proposal or you're reaching out to clients and nothing comes out of it, at least you're talking about something that you're passionate. It's something that you believed in. So that the fact that you're really doing something related to your passion is going to help you with that constant sense of failure. Say, hey, at the end of the day, I feel I'm doing the right thing. And that's why we go back to motivation to persevere. Because if you're really passionate about something, you want to share that with the rest of the world, and you're going to be motivated. You're going to provide that to everybody. You're going to provide the necessary information. So really symbolizing your passion as the runner, or of course, whatever you want to do. For me, well, I constantly say, hey, this didn't work. I'm just going to continue. I'm going to believe in myself. And because it works for me, it's going to work for other people. I was able to help myself through my knowledge. What's worked, the value that I brought to myself, I can bring it to others and make a business from it. Another thing is people see, people follow me on social media. People see that I run. People see that I perform. And people know that I really love running because, again, I symbolize my passion. And so when a client comes to see you and say, okay, like, can you help me with this project? Or can you really help me with this? Well, if you're really passionate about it, the way you're going to explain it, people are going to see kind of a spark in your eye. When people talk to me, they say, wow, you really love that sport. You really know what you're talking about. And I get excited about it because I know I'm going to be able to help them. So it's really important that you symbolize that passion, because people will find that you have a lot of integrity. People will trust you more because they know that if you're passionate about something, you're going to work hard for them and you're going to provide results. And again, long-term success, why you want to work on something that you're truly passionate about, something that you're representing, is that having your own business it's not like a lot of YouTubers or a lot of Instagrammers where we see people getting overnight success. That's really the 0.0001%. It's a long process. It's definitely a long process. Now you can make a living quite quickly out of it, but the high success can take years and years and years. So you really need to hang in there, and representing your passion and doing something constantly related to your passion is going to help you stay motivated and keep yourself updated and be on top of everything. So, of course, if you're passionate about something, you want the world to know about it. So one of the number one goals you must have when you're launching your business in relations to your passion is that everybody needs to know that you're passionate about it. Everybody needs to know, one, who you are and what you can do for them. So I really advise everyone to invest a lot of their time, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, with their online and offline presence. So if you're in China, your online presence is, you've got to share on WeChat, on Weibo, on Jihu, all those popular platforms in China. You need to let all of your followers or your friends' followers, your connections online, what you do, how passionate you are about it, and create this online image of, this is me, this is what I do, and I'm 100% about this. So if you are connected to me on my WeChat account, you will see that I only post things about running. I don't post anything, anything personal. It's really running related things. Why? Because I just want to symbolize myself again as my passion and show to the world that everything I do is about running and it's nothing else. Even if it's not true, I want to give the impression that all I do, I breathe, eat, sleep, running. And again, that will create a strong personal brand at first. So of course my brand is Run Force, but at first people don't know Run Force. It doesn't mean anything, but people do know me personally or talk about me. So they say, oh, I know this guy, he's really into running. I think he can help you with your project. So it's really important to have that online presence where you have usually a quite good control of what you want to represent. So invest a lot of time in your official WeChat account or even your personal WeChat account to let the world know about your passion. And then offline, it's really important to create offline events to get into contact with your potential clients, with your potential followers. So I have a mix of offline workshops. Every year I do a China tour, with my sponsors. So we're going to go to, this year we're planning to go to 11 different cities across China, meet local people, create new connections. Especially in China, it's quite hard. The platforms such as WeChat are not open platforms. That means if people are not already following you, they won't get your feeds, and people can't really share your feeds. So it's really important to create new followings in new locations. So offline events are very important. And then people still need human contact. So you want to go create offline events or even go to other people's offline events and introduce yourself and represent your passion. Another thing that I've learned in launching my business here in China is, share for free your knowledge. Same as I'm doing today. It's really important that for people to listen to you, you need to provide valuable information. And people are always, there is some interest of what you're doing personally and say, oh, this person's doing very interesting things. But a lot of people have questions about things related to your passion. And since you're a subject matter expert about, your passion, you should be able to share valuable information. So never be cheap with your answer and your time when people ask for help, even if you're not going to get direct investment. I can guarantee you providing free information, either through articles or group chats, workshops, or people reaching out and say, hey, can you answer this question? Like, my knee hurts, what should I do, etc. It will pay off. You got to remember, you're spreading your image through these people. People reach out to you and they trust you, and they will become your advocates. So it's totally okay to spend a little bit of time answering for free questions. Traveling around China, I'm gonna spend a lot of time reaching out to people and putting together workshops and taking planes and trains, and all this not to be paid. It's an investment for me, and sharing my knowledge with all these communities across China. But why is it so important? That allows me to build my name, to build my reputation. And I can guarantee you, the last tour I did in 2021, on the long term, it was extremely profitable. So it was a 2-week investment with quite a bit, with quite a bit of a financial event in there, but on the long term, it paid back. And if you have the right connections, you can have your workshops or your articles or even your posts sponsored if you manage to position yourself as a subject matter expert and start getting a stronger following. So the business of freemium is extremely good, and you provide to 99% of your followers something free. And then you, on the long term, as you grow bigger and bigger, that 1% is going to become very profitable, and you're going to be able to make a very good living. Trust me, it works for a lot of people. And that where we go to community. Your community is everything. What you invest is returned tenfold. So same thing, you create new communities by traveling around China or around your city. reaching out to people. But for me, I can tell you, I wouldn't be able to make a living from my passion if I had not built a strong community. Now, I'm definitely more online community with a lot of online followers, and I provide a lot of online services. So it's quite easy for me to reach out to my community and promote, my events and my camps and my workshops. But what's really important is that I'm there for my community when they need me. So same thing, I'll organize some free events and then people will reach out to me. It'll take a lot of time. And then when you have your business, time gets very, very limited. So you might be frustrated with some recurring questions, etc. But you want to show yourself very available and very grateful and very appreciative of your community. So always show a very positive image to everyone that is part of your community. And I can guarantee you, you will have some very demanding and cheap and ungrateful and so difficult people in your community, but you should still treat them with the same amount of respect and appreciation and being grateful, because you don't know the person who's going to bring you your next client. He might be the most difficult person, and usually it is. So I really want you to invest a lot of time and positive energy into your community once you start building it, because those are what we call KOCs, key opinion consumers. Even if they don't give you money at first, money is really not important when you're starting to build something. These guys, they know you're the best and they will talk about you. Imagine that on average, each person has 5 close friends. Okay, if you have a community of 100 people, that means you're literally reaching out to 500 close friends, and that's massive. And imagine you can convert to those 500 people, like you convert 1% into clients. Okay, well, that's 5 clients for you right there. And sometimes 5 clients is enough to make a living, depending on your business. So I really want you to have 100% commitment to every single member of your community, regardless how difficult, cheap they are. It's really important. Something that I really recommend to anybody who wants to start a new business is taking your time for really building a strong business model. So for me, it's something that, so prior to having my own business, I was a marketing manager for JP Morgan Chase. And I didn't have, I think, the basics of entrepreneurship. And because I quickly quit my job and quickly decided to start my coaching business, I did take a business model from other individuals. What I created first, my original business was nothing too special. It was a very familiar business model that exists well in Canada and in the US. So it was something that I thought would work, and it does work. It is a good business model. But when I think about it now, after 3.5 years, I think my business model is definitely not sustainable for, first of all, the cost of living in Shanghai, and also my the new aspects of my life, and also what I want to achieve in life, my aspirations. So it's when you create your business model, yes, you can make quick money from your passion. You actually don't need that many clients if you put together a good pricing, but you should really have a 10-year project and be realistic. Where do you want to be in 10 years? And for me, when I launched my business, it was like, okay, I just moved to a new country. I got to survive. And I only thought about this. And a lot of you will only think about this, because if you go from the corporate world where you get your monthly salary, let's say you're making $4,000 every month, and then you say, okay, I quit my job. And then you say, okay, I got a model where I can make about $400 per month per client. So I need 10 clients so I can go back to where I was. And then after, it's just going to be gravy. added to what I used to do before. And so if I get 20 clients, I'm going to make twice as much. Okay, but is that a sustainable business model? Where do you want to be in 10 years? Because that model might require you a lot of work and might not be scalable. So really think on the long term. You got 10, project yourself in 10 years. And I constantly even today, I constantly think about ways of, okay, how do I become more and more strategic and execute less and less? And you have to think about what models and systems are going to allow you to grow your business constantly for the next 10 years and maybe move your responsibilities through time. Because if you're always doing the same thing for 10 years, it might be really interesting the first, second, third year, but I guarantee you after 3 or 4 years, you're probably going to want to change responsibilities because you're going to start getting a little bit bored. That's human nature, right? So this is why, I read some books, I talked to some mentors, and something I understood about making a business from my passion is at first we start as craftsmen. So for example, as a coach, you're kind of a craftsman. You're kind of working for your clients. You're not your own boss, really. You're just a consultant, which nothing wrong with being a consultant, but pretty much you're selling your time. So let's say most of us have 40 hours during the week. Then you only have 40 hours to sell. And that means if you manage to make on average, let's say, 200 RMB per hour, that means you can make up to 8,000 RMB per week. That's great. But is that really going to make you successful, right? So what you want to do is to become an entrepreneur where you create scalable models, where you can leverage your systems, your IP, or your teams. So what's the difference between craftsman, which is kind of like, for example, just a running coach, versus an entrepreneur, which I like to call myself the runner. It's by building systems. That's something that really I've been shifting after 18 months during my business, where I said, this is not going to be sustainable. So scalable models. So, same amount of time that instead of, are able to manage just one client, can you give this to 3, 4, 5 clients, even more? What's really important is creating and training a team. So something I invest a lot in is not only from a time perspective based and from a financial system, is finding good potential coaches, training them, giving them helping them with my system, and finding them clients. So pretty much that allows me to acquire a lot more clients where I'm not focused on the execution, where I'm more focused on marketing strategies, finding ways to meet new people, and then after sharing those resources with my coaches and helping them acquire customers. Leveraging your brand exposure. So we're going to talk in the next slide about brand, but pretty much once you create, a strong community, people will talk about you, but they'll start talking about your brand. And you want to bring forward your brand more and more and put your person back. Because if you have a team, you want the team to represent the brand and not just themselves. So what are you going to do with the brand? Well, for example, I'm opening an online shop where it's going to be, the Run Force shop and not the Adrien Tevnet shop. And the idea of the shop is we select products that Run Force, likes and uses, and our expertise tells you that you can trust these products and you'll be happy with the quality of the service of these products and the quality and what the value of these products are going to bring you. So a brand that people can trust is a great way to create additional revenue through, for example, affiliate programs. And again, passive revenue, something that you want to look into. So one thing is Run Force, we create training programs that we put online. And as we get more and more people to follow us and get to know us, people can buy services that are already made, that we have 500 people that buy this service or 5,000 people that buy this service, the amount of work is almost the same. So that's when you're becoming an entrepreneur, where you really are not selling your time, and you're more creating systems and teams to help you to help you generate revenue for your business. And there is no more limitations in the revenue. And of course, utilizing partnerships. That's a great way for entrepreneurship, because partnerships exposes you, when you create a strong brand, this exposes you to new audiences, new clients, and also the partnership the partners will always appreciate a business versus a single individual. Why? Because in a single individual, it's a high risk if that person's sick or leaves China or decides to quit. Whereas a business, if you create a successful business, the partners are more willing to partner with you, because they know you're going to stick around and represent their brands. The combination of their brands with your brands will bring value to their image. And then, like I said, scalability through branding. Your business cannot be only you. So at first, I was really marketing myself as Adrien Tevnet Run Coach, but then I really brought forward Run Force. I'm really trying to be more behind the scenes. Why? Well, as I said, I cannot do everything by myself. And if my coaches represent my brand, they will represent the same quality of services that I represent, the same as the products I sell on my stores, the same as the training plans as I sell, the same as the camp as I sell. So the Run Force has to be, the guarantee, the branding of the Run Force is the guarantee of the quality of service. And therefore, you can use that name to sell a whole bunch of different products, and you can have a whole bunch of different people working for Run Force services and products and experiences. And it doesn't have to be just you, because after, if it's just you, then people say, well, I only want to do a camp where Coach Adrien is going to be there. I only want to buy a training plan designed by Coach Adrien. I only want to be coached by Coach Adrien. That doesn't work. You're not having a scalable model. So really invest and put forward a brand that you've created by having a good branding, having a good, good logos, making sure that when you do an event, you represent that brand more than you represent yourself. And the other thing is, a brand gains value very fast, depending how successful you are, but a brand does gain value based on the experience. And if one day you say, hey, I'm tired about doing this, I want to move on to the next project, well, that brand could be your retirement fund or the fund for your next project. And you can sell the IP, you can sell the branding, and have somebody start making, that person will buy it because they can start making money off of that brand. So make sure, you can't sell yourself, but you can definitely sell your IP. So make sure you have that put properly together. Again, like I said, your business cannot be only you. Otherwise, you are a craftsman and not an entrepreneur. So today I'm not available, but if you want to have any questions, feel free to reach out to Dino, and he can share you my personal information. We can create a group chat, or you can use the High Performance Leader group chat by quoting me, and I'll see that you mentioned me, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions. You can follow our account. So if you're into running, or you have a friend into running, or you want to learn more about running, we have a lot of different events: coaching, training camp events, sports communities, corporate health and wellness, and running tours. We have things all the time. It's not only limited to people in Shanghai, it's for people all around the world. Recently we did a camp, we had people in 6 different countries. So make sure you follow us and find out about our latest events. And today we have a special offer. So this Sunday we start a new online training camp. So we're giving 10% off with the promo code HPLS10, 10% off. Love to have you join our camp. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's 9 weeks, and you pretty much learn everything about running during these 9 weeks. If you have a running watch, we upload your trainings directly to your watch. You just got to follow your watch, and it's going to tell you how fast how you have to go. It's going to tell you what kind of intervals you have to do. we got webinars, and we provide coaching support. So this is the registration QR code. We'd love you to join us. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to get a new personal best if you follow the training properly. Thanks so much for joining today, this presentation. I hope it brought you a lot of value. I hope it inspires you, and don't hesitate. Life is short. Make your passion your business, and I guarantee you it will pay off. You will love life a lot more the way I love life a lot more prior to my career. Have a good day. Bye-bye.